Hello and welcome, Nessie.
Hello, Chris. Welcome, everyone.
You doing okay?
I am doing great. A little bit late today because we had another event earlier, so looking
Yeah.
forward to this particular episode.
Normally we would be recording this
Mm.
anyway, so it could come any time, but it's simpler to do the recording this way, actually. So, right, today's topic. Oh, by the way, just before I get cracking on this, uh, if you like what we're doing here and you're enjoying these topics, hit the like button to start with, then hit the subscribe button, and then click the bell. Because if you don't click the bell, you won't be told or advised or get a message to tell you when we put a new video up. And of course, you'll be delighted to watch every video we do from here on in. So make sure you tick the bell, get notified. Absolutely time sensitive videos.
Information that you need to watch them immediately.
So today's So the joking aside, today's rather serious topic is who am I to the world? Question mark. And how do I want to be perceived by others? That's fairly deep.
Oh,
So tell me, Desi, what was your
that's very deep. So we did an episode a while back, and I'm going to put a link up there, which we were talking about who I am really. But this one is different. This one is about kind of, it's got something to do with the ego, right? Because we want to put on a certain way of being to present ourselves to the world. To some people, they might not even care about who they are being, how they're being perceived by others. There's one there. And I still think I have a bit of a thing to work around this. But let me tell you what I did as soon as we decided on the topic. And we had some time in between recording and deciding on the topic. So I had a little exercise. I took out a piece of paper and I wrote the question down, like you do. I find that journaling, writing my answers down, is a lot easier to get to the real thoughts
can I just
because
hold your
my brain is not very good at remembering or understanding what it thinks.
it's
What
very
is it,
quaint
Chris?
taking out a piece of paper. Very quaint idea that. It could be taking out an electronic gadget or some kind of electronic notepad. But piece of
Well,
paper will do. Piece of paper will do.
sure, it was a piece of paper. Why not actually on the back of another piece of paper? So I had
Yeah,
some space left, so I used that.
okay.
Actually, I think it's another topic, but if you write things down by hand, it's a lot easier to get to the real thoughts compared to if you're just typing on a keyboard. But that's just another topic. So, took a piece of paper and started writing. So I wrote, who do I want to be and how do I see myself or how do I want the world to see me? And I wrote, I see myself as a kind, caring person. And I
Mhm.
was kind of surprised. I said, okay. So, and then I thought, well, why is that important to me? Because I want people to like me, was the
Mhm.
answer. And that triggered a whole lot of, I don't know whether you know about this 7 levels deep. Have you heard of this, Chris?
I like the number
No?
7. I like the number 7.
Yeah, it's 7 times you ask the deep question of why.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Oh,
a
yeah,
very,
yeah.
very, it's a
So why
very,
is that
very deep
important?
question.
Why
Why?
is that
What's
important?
so, so every time you have an answer, you go and
What
ask
does that
about
mean?
the importance of the answer. Why is that important? Why do you want that?
I have a different thing for that. It's still 7. It's so what? So
Yeah,
I like
it's the
people.
same. It's the same.
Yeah, I want people to like me. So what? Where
Mhm.
does that go?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So I took myself down this exploration a little bit. So I got so the first why, well, why is that important for you to be caring and kind person? And because I want people to like me. So, oh yeah, no surprise in that. Right, so I had to go and ask again, why is that important to you that people like you? So I have friends. Oh, okay, right. Why is it important for you to have friends? Because I can't handle hostility. That surprised me actually. I can't handle people's, if somebody's attacking me, being hostile to me, I can't handle this. And then I had to find out more. So why is that such a big deal? Because I don't believe I can stand up for myself. So if there's hostility, I can't stand up for myself to defend myself. Oh, interesting. Why does that matter? Why is this such a big deal? Oh, because I don't think I am strong enough. I can't stand up for myself because I'm not strong enough. Oh, so why do you think you're not strong enough? Oh, because I don't believe in myself. And this is usually the real, you can stop there. Maybe you can carry on with another. Why do you not believe in yourself? Oh, I don't know, because I'm not confident. So this was a little bit of a surprise actually, because I thought I was starting to be more confident. But obviously, on certain levels, it's still quite deep. This insecurity and not being confident enough, which the ego then builds on and makes me to be a kind person because I'm not
Or
confident to stand up against anything else that's not
so
kind.
could you replace kind person with people pleaser?
In this way, it seems like that, yeah, because I want friends.
I mean, kindness in my world means I do something for someone because it's a kind thing to do. I'm not interested in their opinion of it, and I'm not interested in whether they think that they owe me anything. I just done it because it's a kind thing to do. And kindness in that way, it doesn't cost anything to be kind to people. Like to help someone across the street pick up some rubbish. In certainly with strangers, it really doesn't make any. There's no expectation either way. And obviously, in families and closer knit, you can feel like you're being abused or taken advantage of and stuff like that, which is basically it comes down to perception. But if you keep doing something for someone and they don't pay any regard to, they don't improve, and they don't even notice you've done it, then of course there's a potential there to feel like you're being abused. It's kind, but
Mm.
it's kind of an abusive behavior from the other person, and it's like if they're not even recognizing the kindness, it's like you're almost
Maybe
wasting time.
yeah, in that kind of situation, if I did the exercise, it's not going to take me in that direction. It will take me somewhere else.
Okay.
So because this was very open-ended, like how do I want to be seen by the world as a kind person? And I then did some work on I am confident. So I hope this is already fixed, sorted out. Like I am confident now, so I don't need to be people pleasing. Um, but if it was in a different type of, so now I could think about the same question and say, okay, so Desi, how do you want to be perceived in the world? Now I'm thinking I want to be perceived as a competent person.
Okay, so let me take that a little bit further. So my view about how I would like to be seen is a wide, uh, a useful person who basically has touched a lot of different things, and basically people feel I like my answer's worth hearing.
Hmm. So
Right.
why
So,
is that important to you? We can do the same exercise.
well, I think that I would like to be useful and helpful. That's it, basically. And why is it? Why is it? Because I like to help people, and I don't want to. I'm not interested in. I'm not really interested in what they can do for me and whether that they like me as a person. I'm just interested in being able to be, being helpful. I'm building up knowledge and I'm building up my skill set, and I'm building up my wisdom because I want to support other people in an inspiring way. And why is that important to me? It's not really. It's just,
Well, it is because you're doing it. Why are you
well,
doing it?
why? Because what else is there?
Because you're maybe curious to learn. So why are you curious? Why is curiosity important to you? Because
Why
it
am I?
expands you as a person, I suppose. You have
Yeah,
more of a
yeah,
wider awareness, raises your
yeah.
awareness,
I'm not.
and
I'm not
your
interested in whether people turn around and like if somebody says, "Oh, you go and speak to Chris because he knows a few things," right? I mean, what I basically got is another problem. I got a listen, and I've got to understand, and I've got to digest it, and then I've got to come up with something which like that's reflective of the situation. Now, I to be honest, I could not be bothered, or I could do it. I'm not really worried either way round. But if someone on my deathbed was to say, okay, what has Chris contributed in the world? I like to think that I've helped people out. I've helped people out and given them the benefit of the years I've been around to maybe help encourage, inspire, or take them down a road that they will benefit from. That's it really, and there's nothing for me there. Nothing. I'm not interested in payment or whatever. I'm just interested in like if there's no point in learning if I'm not going to use it. Is there? There's no point in developing all this knowledge and experience if it's of no value to anybody except me. And okay, it is of value to me because I've enjoyed my life and I've just picked up these things as I've gone along, and now people can benefit from that if they choose to. But if they don't ask me, I don't care. I really don't care. If they would like the benefit of my help, they don't have to curry loads of favour with me. Yeah, there are people around who ask me things who I wouldn't go out for a beer with or invite round to dinner or they're just people. But if in some way I can leave those people better off than when I did when I met them, then I feel good about that. And I'm not, I think, okay, well, that's a tick in the box for the reason why I've been learning, because I can help this group of people. And like at the end of the day, what else do we have? What else? You can't take the money with you. Can't take the house. Can't take the car. Can't take everything else. You can't take your health. Right? You can't take your mindset. What you can do is leave.
leave it all here.
Relieve the fact that the trail you created has got some value for people who are going on after you've gone away, and that's it. We don't have anything else. The memory, the experience, the knowledge, and maybe assisting people in their onward path to the same end, because there's no other end, is there? Really, I don't think there's any other end, is there?
We don't know about that. We don't know what's happening afterwards.
Experience. No, I'm just saying when we're on this plane, right? Okay, what comes after, no one knows. But like on this plane, if we cannot be useful, then it's over, isn't it?
Because there's no other way. Yeah, I see. Yeah,
it's like that's all we have.
You're either working with your ego and making sure that the ego is satisfied, or you completely work on quieting it down, because it's not possible to kill it.
Well, it's useful.
If you kill the ego, it's like you're killing yourself, because that's what makes you to be.
It's still you.
The living creature that you are. Yeah.
And I mean, it's a great.
To make it to be working with you, with the real you inside, to be helpful and supporting that, instead of creating all sorts of stories to divert you from where you want to go, because it might be painful in its eyes, and just to make it to behave in a way like breaking a horse, I suppose, like like making it to go where you want it to go with you faster than, or maybe not even going anywhere, just being sitting in a circle, like you like saying, and observing everything else, how things come and go. And
The ego, right, is very important for us when we're in our teens and we're just kind of trying to work things out, right? And then going on to jobs and a bit of competition and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, you can say, yeah, it's actually, it takes you in on roads that perhaps are not the best for living in harmony with others. However, it's still you, and it's two sides of the same coin, right? You can't get rid of the other side of the coin because it makes the other side of the coin invalid, right? So the two coins come in the same box. And if the ego is playing out, then it's really useful to see it, and this is the important bit, to be aware of it and to be able
mm,
to, like, digest what it's coming up with so that you can work out a more appropriate course of action. Yeah,
yeah,
without the ego you don't have the ability to do that. The ego still is needed. Now what you do is you become way more effective at recognizing it, understanding its motive, and doing the other thing. It's just,
that is exactly what I meant. So in my
yeah,
case, well, how do I want to be perceived? It was the ego talking about me not being safe or not being confident, because the real part, the real soul inside of me doesn't even understand confidence. It's always confident. It's not lacking in any way. It's the ego that's thinking, oh no, 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 you're not confident. You need to be a certain way to be safe. So I hope I'm making sense with all of this.
well,
Um,
the thing is, right, is that, you know, you asked me and you've asked yourself, like, how do I want to be perceived? It's nothing to do with me, is it? The perception of who I am is down to others, right? It's down to other people. And I really couldn't give a monkey's, right, to be honest, whether they perceive me as helpful, useful, or not. I know, I know already that where people have asked me questions and I provided them with the benefit of my experience, that they enjoyed that input, right? If other people think I'm an absolute arse and I have no use to anybody and I'm an egotistical pig, right, then that's their choice, right? I'm not even on, you know, like, it's irrelevant to me. It's like,
it's a good point, because actually this brings me to the control element. I think we also spoke about this in another episode. I can't even remember which one exactly. So trying to control, and it's again the ego trying to control the environment so it's safe. Like, I want to be perceived as a kind person, so I have safety. But I might not be I might not be doing kind things. I might be doing things that, I don't know, somebody might perceive as controlling, trying to tell me what to do when I'm actually trying to be kind and save them some time figuring something out. And they're perceiving it as, oh, stop telling me what to do. So in my eyes, it might be I'm kind, but in their eyes, it might be, oh, stop telling me what to do.
trying
I
to
don't
sell me
need
something I
advice.
don't want.
Yeah, all that. I was thinking more like controlling me
Yeah.
as an adult to a child or something like that. So it's we can't even tell. We can never know how others are going to perceive us. It's impossible.
Well, the thing is, right, and this is such an important point, most people couldn't give a monkeys about you, not you directly, but you in general. And why do we value their criticism so highly, right? When we think they're an arse, they think I'm an arse or whatever. And then here they are telling me something, that their opinion of what I am. And like, I'm letting it get to me when it's like, these people don't even deserve the attention span of a gnat. Right?
And it's again because the ego think it's important for you.
Yeah, because you want to try and please everybody you meet, and actually you can't please everybody you meet. In fact, you can't please many people you meet. So you have to work on that if you want to be supportive, and that's by unconditional love or whatever. But basically, it's like, it's not your responsibility to basically get people to like you by bending over backwards and doing all sorts of other bits and pieces in order to curry favor with their opinion of you. It's like it's irrelevant. They'll either like you or they won't, based on the fact that of all sorts of things, not just this bit, right? And that's my opinion anyway. And the more time I waste trying to please people, the less time I've got actually pleasing people.
And
Or
also, you're not pleasing yourself, which now, as I'm listening to you, it's coming. Okay, you're always trying to please others. You're pleasing this person, you're pleasing that other person, to the detriment of pleasing yourself. And why is that? Oh, because you're not important, says the ego. Because it's more important that you please other people, because then you're going to be safe, says the ego.
yeah.
Well, we can change that. So it doesn't have to be like that.
No, of course it doesn't. And people might watch this and say he's an arrogant son of a whatever. But it isn't about being arrogant. It's about being free to do what you want. People might turn around and say, "Well, he never helps me, never does what." It's like, well, are you trying to manipulate him to do something, or are you, because I've got 100,000 million things I want to do, right? And what you're saying is you want me to do the thing for you more than I want to do the things for myself. The answer is no, I don't. Right? I want to do my things loads, and if you're going to steer me off that, right, then ask nicely and ask kindly. And then I will probably say, "Oh, okay, this person needs the experience I have, and I feel I can add value here. Therefore, I will help." But it's my decision, and it's not because I want you to like me, right?
Yeah.
I'm not bothered about that because I already like myself as an individual. I like myself, and some people out there will say probably he's an argumentative, cantankerous idiot, and I don't like him. Right? I know there are people out there that say that. Yeah, he tries to do this, he tries to do that because they're basing it on the 10-year experience of the Chris Ogle who no longer exists, right? So they're basing me on that judgment, right? And they basically think I'm a cantankerous idiot and don't speak to him. He's got all sorts of problems. Oh, okay. I'm not even going to bother arguing or defending myself. There's no need. I don't need to defend myself because I'm not what you've just described, right? So, but if you want to find out why, then ask me. Don't expect me to
Well,
stand up and go, "I'm not this, I'm not that," because I don't care what you think. I really don't care.
this brings me to a wisdom nugget that I constantly repeat. Well, obviously, I haven't learned a lot from it yet because the exercise showed it today. It's something like I am not what you think I am. You are what you think I am.
Yeah.
And it comes back to accepting the part of us that when we see things in others, it kind of agitates and triggers us. When we see that in others, that is because there is a part of us that we do not want to accept. We do not want to
Acknowledge.
If you acknowledge, that's it. We don't want to acknowledge because we think it's not, we're ashamed of it. It's not something that we can be proud of. So whenever somebody says, "Oh, this person is such and such," it might be a good idea for you guys if you do that, if you catch yourself, because I practice this quite a lot these days. When I catch myself thinking judgmentally about something, situation, event, a person even, if I catch myself putting a label and judging, I stop and I say, "Okay, you've actually now uncovered some part of you that needs loving. So where in your life are you not accepting this? and you think this is bad. Go put some light on it and accept it, and learn to accept yourself as you are. And it's all good. It's not a shameful. It's not. It's not something to be ashamed of. It's not something. Well, the ego thinks it is, so it will never allow us to go look in there because it tricks us into becoming blind to that part of us. But we said, well, we want to have this ego to work with us, not by itself and taking
Well,
us for a wild ride.
the issue of blame or criticizing others is the reluctance to look at ourselves.
Mm.
And this is the ego. This is the ego's like straight up there up front. It's over there, the problem, right? Because
Yeah.
because the problems that are within us, we just don't like until you get used to it. When you get used to it, you have no problem with it, right? In my opinion, anyway. But the first off is like, yeah, I was a bit argumentative there, and I was a bit manipulative there, and I could have handled that better. I could have been kinder. I could have been something else in terms of my performance. Because if something goes wrong, there's always two people involved, right? If it's all right, so you can't just look at the other person. This happens all the time with marriage breakups, with everything. People go, the other person has this, and if you're talking to this person, right, as far as you're concerned, the other person must have been a complete wuzzard, right? A real bad news story. You go and talk to them. It's like being in a magistrate's court. You go and talk to the other person, and it's like, oh no, the other person didn't tell me this. Oh no, now I'm on this person's side because I've heard the prosecution and the defense, right? Yeah. So now you're confused. And the answer is because both people are coming from a position of ego. And if you look at it without emotion in the cold light of day, you probably come to a much better conclusion than the feisty, it's not my fault, it's not my fault, type of argument. And like you look around the world, right, it's full of this, right? Because we haven't learned any lessons. We haven't learned anything in the time we've been here. We've just carried on playing the same old games, same old blame game, because the ego's the only thing we've ever known, and we pass the ego on to the next generation and the next generation. Yeah, the ego is getting stronger because it's been working on us since the moment we were aware of we were existing. The ego's like, hey, I got another spirit to cultivate here, right? And on it goes, right? On it goes relentlessly, and then your world becomes the world the ego has created. And until you get to grips with that, I think you can't change it because you don't even know what's going on. And that was the awareness one that we came up. The awareness allows you to recognize there's some bugger inside you that's playing games. And it's just knowing that that's going on is a major step forward. And it leads to this, like, how do I want to be perceived and everything else, like, I don't know, like at the end of the day we all die, like it, and the fact that we might have worked really hard on trying to create this impression for the world, like in 500 years no one's going to even know you were here, like it's written down somewhere and no one's blown it up. Like it's irrelevant in the big scheme of things. What's very relevant is try and learn as much as you can, enjoy yourself as much as you can, and have a great time.
And be happy. Yeah.
And be happy. Because all the other stuff's an illusion, and it's a delusion, and it's of no significance whatsoever, because nothing stays around forever. And we just kind of think we're here forever, like, oh yeah, people are going to remember me for. They're not.
I like this. I had a friend who was very much into this type of spirituality and personal development, and he was telling us one day how he was listening to this podcast, and somebody there who he appreciated and looked up to said, okay, in this podcast, we're going to be discussing the meaning of life. And he was like, okay, I want to know what the meaning of life is. And he says, I'm clinging on to every word of this person. And he says, the meaning of life is to be happy. I said, what? Really? I got this all wrong. Oh, if it's like that, great. I'm going to do this now from now on. I'm going to be happy. And well, the ego took him for a ride here and there and everywhere, but I don't know. I lost contact with this person, so I don't know how this is panning up for him. The purpose of life is to be happy, but quite a few years now since this incident, I think that's absolutely correct. That's the purpose of life, is to live this life and be happy, because you might not have another one. I don't
You're
know.
not happy as in going around like smiling at everybody. Well, you can do that if you want, but basically to be unfazed by, so be it, good events, bad events, terrible events, evil, good, like whatever. It needs to be unfazed by it, such that you can live a quiet, content, stress-free existence. Which so happiness is a goal, but it really is at the top of the pyramid. There's all this stuff that needs to go on, which ultimately creates this happiness, right? It can't be you say, oh, I'm going to be happy at the bottom there, because you'll soon be undone, because there's going to be things that happen that make you angry, disappointed, frustrated, and they're going to make you be pointing out the blame of others because there's no work been done yet.
It's that, like taking the ego by the hand and together working on being a happy person, having a happy life.
Yeah,
It's
like
not
I
going to
say,
happen without that.
it's two sides of the same coin. The ego's on one side and the spiritual person is on the other. The ego's created a fictitious world in which it revels, and the other side needs to unpick it and basically take the ego and say, look, we're going to go home together here, which you do anyway. But stop. There's no need for this. You're causing disturbance and unhappiness and disharmony, and it's not good for us because we're in some kind of stress mode, and it's definitely not good for others because you're messing up everybody's game. So just hold on here for a second, and it's our job to do that. The ego won't do it. It's on autopilot. It just goes about doing whatever it wants, and we have to kind of like start to navigate that bad boy. But
yeah, so that's, I think we've exhausted that topic for now. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do subscribe and like and hit the bell. This will really help us out to spread the word and help more people maybe with what we're talking here. It might serve a good purpose to others. So thank you for watching. Thank you, Chris, for your wisdom as always.
that's not about that. My age, maybe.
Well, I think it's quite nice messages all we can hear from you here.
Okay,
yeah.
you.
Right, I'm babbling now. That's it. That's it.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.